Boston Business Journal called the PR and content marketing agency one of the growing private companies in Massachusetts. And for a perspective from the private sector, please welcome Beth Monahan.
Thank you so much, Governor and Secretary. It's a deep honor to be here today amongst so many inspirational people and to be part of this really important work. So I'm going to talk about confidence. When I started Inkhouse unofficially, it was me dry heaving into my trash can at work. I was trying to work up the courage to quit my job and go out on my own, and instead I grabbed my cell phone and I fled to the lobby of the Omni Parker house and I called my dad. And I said, "Dad, I can't do it. I don't know how I'm going to land this first client. I can't do it." And he laughed actually, and he said, "I know you can do this, so you need to get back in there and quit." So I was lucky enough to borrow his confidence that day, and I found the courage to try. So I did quit, and I went out on my own, and I landed that first client, and that was back in 2006 before I was dreaming big. If you had told me then that today I'd have 50 employees and offices in Massachusetts and California, I wouldn't have thought it was possible. Last year, I was reminded why when I saw Sheryl Sandberg speak about her book, Lean In. She said that while men tend to take credit for a company's success, women often ascribe that same success to luck, help from others, and hard work. In other words, we chalk it up to chance, and I was one of those women. It's not attractive to brag, and so we find ways around it. We brush off our accomplishments, and we sometimes minimize our potential that way. And unless we're lucky enough to have someone like my dad come along and convince us that we can do it, we're not going to make it. So growing Inkhouse, to me, meant kind of overcoming my confidence challenges. I joked early on that we faked it until we made it at Inkhouse, and I don't mean that we faked our knowledge. We founded Inkhouse because we knew we had something special, and we knew that it worked, but I lacked that inherent confidence that comes with success. So I became a student of other confident people, and I started paying attention to the things that made me feel empowered when I was sitting at the table. I stopped qualifying my recommendations by prefacing them with words like, "I think." I stopped apologizing for other people's mistakes. I learned to project certainty by ending my thoughts as statements, not questions. And I learned the difference between winning and being right. And then I found a way to say difficult things in a kind way, in my way. I spend my days now surrounded by young, smart women. For those of you who don't know, the PR industry is dominated by women. Some put it at 85%. So much so that I sometimes joke that we need affirmative action for men at Inkhouse. But then it's not funny when I realize that only 20% of the management roles in PR are held by women. So this has taught me something really important about potential. It looks a lot different when it's being worn by a woman instead of a man. On a woman, I think it can be harder to identify. These days, I'm interviewing lots of candidates, and the men always come in exuding confidence, as they should. But one of our current top employees almost took herself out of the running before we even offered her the job. She was really interested, but she called us to say that she didn't think she had the qualifications. So I had her in, and I convinced her to let me hire her. And today she's killing it, as I knew she would. So I believe that confidence is teachable, but we need more teachers, and we need more female examples. So I'm just thrilled to be part of this amazing initiative and to be among people who believe that women can be executives who drive real results, empathetic mentors, and loving mothers all at the same time. Thank you.